Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Batwoman Season 3, Episode 10, Toxic. So I have to say, this is probably my all-time favorite episode in all 3 seasons. I know I said that with Episode 4, the Freeze episode, but this one, in my opinion, tops that. This has so much cool stuff that I love about like Batman, not Batwoman, but Batman. Car chases, fight scenes, super villains, great CGI. Did I say car chase? If not, I'm saying it again, car chases. Did I say fighting, hand-to-hand combat? Whatever. It had all that. It even had humor in it, you know. And so like everybody was able to hold their own in this episode. By far, like I said before, best episode in the series, except for that ending. That ending got on my nerves. I have to say, I'm so thankful that this Poison Ivy storyline is finally over. It dragged on for so long. I wanted them to get to like a different villain. But now they're going to get into the whole Marcus Joker 2.0 thing, which I'm kind of not looking forward to. I kind of am, kind of not. We still don't know much about his portrayal. We've only seen like bits and pieces here and there. I think that's probably partially deliberate and partially not, because, you know, they did the whole Poison Ivy thing. Part of the reason why I say it might be only because the parts that we've seen, he's not really acting so much Jokerish. He's just acting like his, like more hyped up of himself, but more like gangsterous and stuff. I think they kind of realized that maybe, he's not mimicking the Joker very well like the dude on Gotham did. So it's kind of like he's just more gangsterous. So he could literally just play any character. I can't even really tell like he's Jokerish just by the small stuff I've seen. But who knows? Maybe in the full like episode, maybe he'll do like a better job. But also I don't want that to drag on either. Like the season's almost over with. They spent so much time on Poison Ivy, and now they've been spending the rest on the whole Marcus Joker thing. And it's just kind of like, no, I want more villains, man. But anyways, so this finally put an end to the whole Poison Ivy storyline, and I kind of predicted, with the whole mirror thing, like, you know, like once all this is over, she's back to her normal self. And where was that? I heard a noise. Anyway, and so like in next week episode, she's gonna even be back to her natural hair color, which I'm gonna miss the red, man. That was nice on her. But now, because she just found out she murdered a man in cold blood and made his son an orphan, now she has to deal with the ramifications of that, which I kind of felt that she was, you know, which is gonna be great character development for her. However, the only problem is it's gonna be the woe is me CW Arrowverse like drama stuff. The oh no, I feel so terrible because of what I did and I can't go on with life and I'm such a bad person and none. We've seen that millions of times and they're about to do it again. So I'm not looking forward to that. However, it is great drama. It will be more stuff for her to sink her teeth into. That would be great. The actress is fairly good, you know what I'm saying? She needs more exposure. She needs more depth. So that'd be good for her and for her resume. But God, I don't want to have to see that storyline again. Like, it's been dragged out to death with the whole woe is me thing. But anyway, so when it comes to Mary and this whole Poison Ivy thing, I gotta say, like, it's been one of the most confusing things ever. Because it's kind of like, okay, when she first became Poison Ivy, like, okay, she is a completely different person. Then halfway into it, she started acting like Mary. And with the whole, oh, nobody noticed me, woe is me type thing. So it's kind of like, is she Poison Ivy or is she not? Like, okay, we know Poison Ivy stuff is in her, but like, how much? And why is she still acting like herself, but more like a hyped up version? Basically, this 2.0 of Poison Ivy Mary is think of it like this. Poison Ivy juices that's inside her essence, is like alcohol. Mary is still Mary apparently, but bringing out her inhibitions and stuff. So apparently, you got a couple of different writers who doing different things. One be like, "Oh, I want her to be completely poison ivy," and the other one's like, "No, I want her to be like Mary." So it's kind of like it's conflicting in that nature. But this whole season's been a little confusing with the whole what exactly is Poison Ivy? Is she inside Mary? Is she an actual person? Well, like I said, for like about 2 episodes ago, we found out, yes, she is an actual person played by Bridget Regan, which I was so happy because I love her to death, man. I remember her from Legend of the Secret, the first thing I ever saw her in. Then I saw her as Dottie in Agent Carter. Then I saw her as somebody in Last Ship. And it's always great just to see her, you know what I'm saying? And she did a really good job with the ruthlessness of Poison Ivy, but she didn't bring that sex appeal. The whole sex appeal was in Mary. And it's quite a shame because she does know how to bring it. Like, if you ever see Legends of the Secret, like, watch that show, man. It's on Hulu. Like, it's made by the same people who made Hercules and Xena. It's really, really, really good. I have it on DVD. I need to start watching that again. It's just a great series. And she does so much. It lasted for 2 seasons. The hand-to-hand combat, there's magic, people falling in love, people getting their heart broken. It's not way down boring CW-ish drama. They have their heartaches, they have their drama, they have their pain, they have their lovey-dovey stuff, but it's not long-winded speeches and everything being weighed down. Like, it was a syndicated show, and like Sam Raimi and Robert Tappert, they know how to make TV, and they know how to make movies. They know how to do dialogue that's not boring and way down. It's a problem why the CW can't make no money. All these long-winded speeches and stuff is getting on people's nerves and stuff. So this episode pretty much picks up where it left off. After getting some of her essence back, Mary is now starting to act a little bit differently. Poison Ivy, Pamela, is teaching new Poison Ivy, Mary, the ropes of having to be Poison Ivy. How to be a villain, how to be evil, how to kill people, how to be an eco-terrorist and everything. Mary is not feeling very comfortable by this. And I figured when we saw how uncomfortable she was, it's like, oh, okay, Mary's back and this storyline's about to end soon and stuff. Because, yeah, she was torturing some man, and Poison Ivy wanted her to kill her, but she didn't. So she just tortured the dude, wrapped him up in some vines, and hung him, like, string him up and everything. And so Poison Ivy is really taking a liking to Mary, and there's a reason for it. She needs her as a battery. That's pretty much how they sum it up in the show. But then Montoya's all like, no, like, Pam actually cares about Mary. Don't know why. She just met the girl and stuff, But basically, she needs her as the battery. She's draining her. And, like, when we find out what Poison Ivy's huge plan is, Poison Ivy tells her, like, there's some factory. I think the factory harmed her brother or something like that. I can't remember exactly what, but she mentions her brother and how he was affected by the factory. And she also said the factory killed a bunch of fish. Once again, since when does Poison Ivy care about animals and fishes and stuff? She only cares about plants. But she also likes Harley Quinn. I'm surprised they haven't mentioned her yet in all this series. They keep mentioning the Joker, but you think they would mention Harley. So, like, with Pamela, like, I guess she hasn't even been Poison Ivy that long, because she knew Montoya back in college, and then back then she got, like, well, after, what's her name was, like, in the police academy, she got, like, detoxified or whatever you call it, drained and everything, dehydrated, and so she hasn't really been Poison Ivy all that long. But anyway, so, she tells her master plan. She's gonna do something with the reservoir, leak all the water down, and it's gonna destroy that factory. But Mary tells her straight up, yo, you can't do that because it's gonna wipe out half of, like, the city streets and stuff and kill people. Of course, being Poison Ivy, she don't care as long as she gets what she wants. And when Mary's all like, I'm just not gonna do that. But boy, Poison Ivy ain't having that. This is the part I love, well, one of the parts that I loved a lot, is we got to see like ruthless aggression, poison ivy, how she is, and like other mediums. She basically walks up to Mary, grabs her by like the cheeks, and drains her behind. Drains her so much the blood's dripping from Mary's nose. And then she just tosses her on the ground and lets her lie there in a coma, and she walks off. And I'm just like, that is so poison ivy. This is why Gotham City is one of the most dangerous places ever. This is the reason why the word goth is in Gotham City. You know, that it was just like perfect right there. And then so like people find Mary and then they call the ambulance and everything. So anyways, with the Bat team, we get Alice. She heads back to the team and she tells her what's going on and everything. And Alice is just a drunken mess. Like she's just like blah, but she's still being her quirky self. Sometimes the actress kind of overdoes it with the quirkiness, but sometimes she does it perfectly. It was a little bit more better in the first season. Now she's getting a little too quirky and everything. She needs to like tone it down. But I still love this actress to death. Like watch Reign when she played Queen Elizabeth. Watch Birds of Prey, the TV show, when she was Dinah Lance and everything. So, anyways, I forget why, but this is the part that I missed. I don't know what the world I was doing, but Batwoman went to go talk to Jada, and she talked about the Joy Buzzer and how the Joker screwed her son up, and she's all like, you know, I'll help you, just give it to me. But then something, Jada gives her like some kind of time limit. At a certain point in time, she's gonna do something or whatever. I wasn't really sure what it was until I actually saw what it was. So as she's doing, so Batgirl, not Batgirl, I'm thinking of Batgirl, Batwoman's in the Batmobile driving off and everything. So the team finds out that, like, you know, Mary is in a coma with the ambulance. So they tell Batwoman. And so she needs backup. She needs somebody to drive a Batmobile. So she gets Alice and everything. This is the part that's kind of pretty funny. Alice is just having a blast in the Batmobile, driving crazy on the road and pressing buttons like the missiles and everything. But I don't understand why Batwoman just didn't have the auto system to drive the Batmobile. I mean, I'm pretty sure it has it. But anyways, she opens up the rooftop. This is still a crappy Batmobile design. I mean, they need to redo that so badly and everything. And so, like, was actually a pretty cool CGI scene. They spent a lot of money on this episode, and it shows, and it was beautiful in every way. There was no bad CGI shots of any kind. So she jumps out of like the Batmobile and she like glides onto the back or the front or whatever of like the ambulance, and then I think she gets onto the back of it. That's right, she gets onto the back of it, makes her way to the front in the windshield, and she's just like telling the dude like stop the car. He's all like I can't and everything. That CGI scene was gorgeous. It was a whole lot better than the garden place when she came swooping down. They spent some good money on that CGI. But eventually she opens up the back of the ambulance. And I love when Ryan does it. She goes upside down. Like that's like her little thing that she does when she's Batwoman that like Ruby never did. Or Kate. Like she always hangs upside down and everything. And the woman's all like, stop the car. So they leave her in the gurney stretcher on the road. And they take her back to like well, I don't think it's the Batcave because she can't get into the Batcave. Back to the club and stuff. And so they figure out a way how they're gonna like fix Mary. And so at this point in time they have Montoya tied up and stuff. And so like, well, let me get into a little bit of something else. When Sophie and Ryan, they're still doing this, ooh, you know, we kissed and all this other stuff. All right, enough of that. So, and so, like, when Mary does wake up, of course she doesn't want to be there because she's about to like, ooh, you people never appreciated me, and I'm moody, and I'm acting like an angsty teenager because I got poison ivy juices in me and stuff like that. So, but what I love is when she sassed everybody. Boy, she told everybody off. She made fun of Alice, talking about you're living some type of delusional like wonderland fantasy and everything. You know, a rat with wings And I forgot what she called Sophie, but it had to do with the word unemployed. I'm like, oh my God. And then she pretty much tells like Luke, oh, you and your AI daddy issues and stuff. I'm like, this was awesome, man. They really got the dialogue good on this. But what makes her stop and come back was when Ryan tells her straight up, you murdered a man. So of course she doesn't believe. She's like, I would have remembered if I'd done that. And she's like, no, that was Poison Ivy that did it. Seriously, is it Poison Ivy or is it Mary? The writers need to make up their minds. I'm pretty sure it was Mary that got freaked out and like did that dude in for the kill and everything. But like whatever, man. Like they need to make up their mind. And then so like during this whole time we really don't even see Poison Ivy. Like I'll get into that a little bit later. That kind of bugs the crap out of me. So like we see Mary head back to Poison Ivy, and Poison Ivy just kind of like, oh, you came back and everything. Like, she's so happy to see Mary after she pretty much left her comatose and stuff. But by this time, she had killed the man. She did a bunch of vine stuff to stop the gyro things and the reservoir thing. So now the city's about to flood. Like I said before, a great CGI with the vines. But it's just so funny. She's just kind of like, oh, you're back. You came back to me. Everything. It's like, dude, you left her in a coma, but you're so happy she's back. And then she's all like, I didn't see you like on the curb sidewalk thing or whatever she left her at and everything. So I thought you just left. I'm just like, what kind of dialogue is this? But she's so happy that Mary's back because she needs more energy and stuff. So she gets more of her energy, that spore thing she does, which is kind of neat CGI, but it's so magical, man. I don't get it. And so during this time, we see like a flashback montage of everybody going around in a circle, very Ocean's 11, talking about how they're going to defeat Poison Ivy. This is the part that really still bugs me from last week's episode. Is Montoya tells her, you know, back in the day, I created this like chemical that prevents me from like being mind controlled by Poison Ivy. Once again, she is a freaking cop, not a chemist. How in the world did she create that, especially without Batman's help? And so she's all like, I think this can weaken Poison Ivy. How? How? That don't make no sense. Okay, if you create a chemical that blocks her mind control, her telepathy, how is that supposed to weaken her too? Basically, the writers ran out of time and everything, so they had to come up with something out of their butts. But anyway, so Mary drank it. Oh, but if Mary drinks it, she could die when she gets drained from Poison Ivy and stuff. But Mary's like, no, I'm stronger than her. I can pull away from her. Mary is not stronger than the OG Poison Ivy. I am sorry. But even Batman could not stop her. This woman is literally a force of nature, Mother Nature. Like, she can do anything. She's basically some type of plant, like God and everything. And even Batman couldn't stop her. He had to get Montoya to be all like, hey, want to talk about feelings and love? Sure, let's talk about feelings and love. Oops, I stabbed you with the needle and syringe. Now you finna dehydrate. You know what I'm saying? But that kind of does bug me too, that even Batman couldn't stop. Man, Batman has fought aliens, Doomsday, he has fought Darkseid, Superman, and he couldn't even stop Poison Ivy. Anyways, God, they always piss on Batman on this show. Anyway, so like she does the spore thing and she's being drained from the chemicals that Renee Montoya came up with, because Montoya's a chemist now all of a sudden. And so she's drained and everything, and she's pissed at Mary, and as Mary collapses on the ground, but here comes Batwoman. Boy, not even a spinning back kick to the face. Poison Ivy. That is how powerful she is and everything. And this was the coolest hand-to-hand fight scene I ever seen. So they're fighting and everything, but then Batwoman decides she needs the upper hand, so she gets her batons out, and then Poison Ivy, out of nowhere, comes like I thought at first they were sticks, but they're like sticks that turn into whips and everything. And she just starts like fighting with her and everything. And it was, at first it was a little jaggery and everything, but then it got better after that. Look, here's the thing. if you ever watch Legend of the Secret, you know that Bridget Reagan can fight hand-to-hand combat. Well, not so much hand-to-hand combat. She didn't really do that, but she fought with two daggers, twin daggers. That was over 10 years ago. She's a little rusty, but then her rust wore off and it was some really cool fight scenes. And I loved it. I just wished it would have lasted longer and stuff. And so Luke comes in his bat suit. He needs to stop taking his helmet off. Seriously. Look, dude, we see your face throughout the entire episode. Just wear the stinking helmet and stop showing people your face. Seriously. I don't get that. And so, like, what the world did he do? I forgot. I think he did something with the thing to stop the water from doing, but some plant vines wrap around him, right? And so once again, he's finna turn into a weenie and everything. But then he starts like psyching himself out and, you know, blocking out the mental trauma. We see some flashbacks of him getting beat up by people, getting shot, and we see him overcome that and bust through the vines and everything. And he brings out some cool gadgets. That was awesome and everything. And so he stops the water from leaking. Oh, also with Batwoman, I love how she took out her batarangs and she used them as knives to cut the vines. That is so the Batman from Kids WB, the animated series and stuff. He used to do that a lot in that series. And then they started doing it in all them animated movies of Batman and stuff. And then so like wait, how did Poison Ivy get stopped? No, I'm forgetting. Wow, I totally forgot. Me and my so-called good memory, dude. Like, I forgot how Poison Ivy got stopped. But she got stopped somehow, and then Ryan cuffed her to like a piece, like a pipe and everything. God, how did she get stopped? They fought. Gee, I really don't know. Anyway, she got her butt kicked and stuff. And so, like, now this is the part that really bugs me. Okay, so here comes the ending, right? And it's a lot of plot armor. A lot of plot armor. But the part that bugs me the most is when they let both Poison Ivy and Renee Montoya go free. Poison Ivy wakes up on a plane, and now it's the dramatic, lovey-dovey, melodramatic talk stuff. But it's actually not weighed down. It was actually pretty upbeat and fun. Pretty much Poison Ivy's like, you did it to me again and everything. And I should never have trusted you. And I need to stop listening to you. Blah, blah, stuff like that. And Renee's all like, no, they let us go. They're going to let us live out our lives on this island. Free of like factories and tons of like foliage and all this other stuff. I forget where. It's something with a C. I think it was the place in season 2. Which if that's so, then all them people are still on that island. But anyways. But yeah, how in the world are they just going to let them go free? First of all, Poison Ivy's a murderer. She needs to be locked up. 2, Montoya is a corrupt cop who aided and abetted a fugitive. And the show writers think, hey, you know how we're always pushing like women empowerment and do the right thing and justice and all this? Well, guess what? Because these two are so much in love, we're gonna let them go free. One's a murderer, one's a crooked cop. But that don't matter, we're gonna let them go free. That is not good writing whatsoever. They need punishment. This is a Batman vigilante type, superhero type show. They gotta be punished. You don't let them go free. Like, and then this show always pushes women empowerment. How is that women empowerment? Oh, when you do wrong, but you're a woman in love, everything is all right because you can go scot-free. No, it don't work out that way. So that's the end of that. I gotta say, I wanted more Poison Ivy in this episode, and I did not get that. I think it's kind of crappy how Bridget Reagan was only in 2.5 episodes. And tell you the truth, that half, the part where she was like detoxified or whatever in like underground, that wasn't even her. That was like a mannequin type thing and stuff. So she was only really in 2 episodes, and I wanted more. It was all this poison ivy buildup just for like her to do like one minor scene in last week's episode and a lot this one, but we don't really get to see her do a lot. It just she says she's gonna do it. That's kind of a little bit of like a irkness with me. Like I'm irritated by that. I wanted more poison ivy. Now you know we're gonna get more Marcus. I don't want to see more Marcus. I want to see more Bridget Reagan. Well, what was she too much money or something like that? Like I don't know, man. It's like, you know, because as somebody who's a huge fan of hers, and I've been a fan for like over 10 years, I think it is, I wanted to see more of her. And it sucks because I don't even know if she's on some other TV show right now. And I just want to see more Poison Ivy do more Poison Ivy stuff. Not see her be drained so much and do stuff off screen. Like, nah, man. Anyway, so after that, Sophie and Ryan are still talking about their lovey-dovey kiss and everything. And they're gonna push that crap. Ugh, whatever. And of course, Mary's about to do the whole "woe is me, I murdered somebody" thing. But the biggest revelation of them all. So we see Marcus, right? He's still in his little coma dehydration thing. And there's a sign that says if water touches this electrical system, the doors will unlock. Well, some water is still leaking from the reservoir thing. Plot armor. And then it drips on him. He wakes up. Plot armor again. But then Jada, with the biggest thing of them all, is a whole Spider-Man No Way From Home thing. Let's have everybody hate Batwoman. So she tells people at Gotham, hey, guess what? You know how all this bad stuff has been going on the last couple of weeks? It's all Batwoman's fault because Batman had all his rogue gallery stuff locked up in key, but Batwoman let it all go free. Hey, I just rhymed. And now all these supervillains are coming back again. And so she basically turned the whole city against Brian, which is that's such a Spider-Man No Way Home thing, man. I hate when they steal from other like properties and crap. And it's stupid, just like the whole Mysterio thing. Why are people gonna believe Jada for? And why are people gonna believe her weird looking son with his purple hair and his jokery acting self, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, this is gonna suck for Ryan, but there's only a couple more episodes left, so who knows what's really gonna happen, you know? And I swear to God, Jada sucks, man. It's like, I would never have written this whole mother-daughter thing like that of her the way that, you know, eventually she's gonna find out who Ryan really is, Batwoman. And when she does, she's like, oh no, either she's gonna be like, oh no, I can't believe this is my daughter, or she's gonna be all like, ew, I can't believe you screwed up my son and put him in a coma and dehydrated him. I'm gonna make your life a living in it. Like, it's gonna be one of those two things, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's gonna be interesting either way, but I would have had her written a little bit differently, like more ruthless, but they ruined that when they started having her like her and everything. Who knows what this whole family dynamic thing is gonna go. It's just kind of a little weird, and they just need to hurry and like just get done with it already, you know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like, don't let it drag. Now the whole thing with Mary and Alice, that's kind of interesting because Alice is still showing the care and love for Mary for reasons unknown. But of course, the only reason is that's her only family left. You know, that stepsisters. And, you know, Ryan's asking, why do you like her so much and all that stuff? She couldn't answer because I think that's when Mary woke up. And so is Alice just going through the motions right now. And it's interesting because it's kind of like, you know, she had some of the greatest lines this episode when she was messing with Sophie like always, and then she started messing with like Montoya, and they all started going at it. I love the whole dynamic between Sophie and like Alice. It's like so hilarious and stuff, but it's still so weird because that whole Ryan hate you Alice thing and gang killed my stepmom thing, like, or adoptive mom thing, that's like all over with now. And it's just like, oh, also, what happened to her little delusional hallucinations? That just kind of got scrapped for now. So I want to see that come back, and I want to know why it's happening. And it makes you do wonder what's going to happen with Alice now. I mean, you know she's going to turn good, but it's like she's too much of a crazy murderer and everything. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. And Luke barely had anything to do because he's the weenie of the show and stuff. So he was more interesting in season one. And have you noticed? Pretty much everybody has driven the Batmobile except for him and Sophie. But you know Sophie's gonna drive before he does. I mean, they let Alice drive it for crying out loud. Oh boy, I swear. I would have thought for sure he would have been more of a sidekick than what he's been doing lately. But, you know, whatever. Oh, well, I've been talking for way too long. Let me wrap this up. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.